Welcome, fellow travelers. My name is Shakacon, and I'm joining Chibi and Verta at the Golden Feather. Come on in, grab a seat, and let's share some tales of adventure.
And of course, our bard this week, Shakacon.
But of course. Speaking of which, Shakacon, if you could do us the kindness and let everybody know who has not met you before or may not know who you are. Who are you? Tell us something about yourself.
Okay, I have been playing EverQuest 2 since it came out, and I'm a guild leader for the last 17 years there. And I actually have a whole guild that's going to migrate into Ashes once it's released. And I'm also a member of the Community Resource Council for EverQuest 2. So that's really cool because that means I get to give input right to the devs to give them feedback on how the game is doing. I am excited about Ashes of Creation, and I'm a member of PI, so I get to hear lots of cool stuff.
If only it were shareable. Womp womp.
Yeah, not allowed to say, sorry.
But we might get to talk about a little bit of fun stuff coming up later in the podcast about PI and fun stuff. But before we get into any of that, what do you do within the Ashes community, and what brought you to Ashes of Creation?
Within the Ashes community, I'm just an advent fan, and I made alliances for my guild because my guild is full of lots of crafters and not a lot of adventurers, just a small amount of hardcore people. Most of us are just crafters. And I have children in my guild. And right now it's funny because I belong to the Kingdom Project Alliance, and they all tease me that I'm the orphan guild because I have a very strong standing rule that I want my guild to be a safe place where children can play. So there's no cursing, no sexual innuendo. Everybody's nice and kind and helpful. And it's just a safe, nice place for kids to play. Because kids get to play MMORPGs too. Right. And so they all tease me about it, that they're going to call me the Orphan Guild.
Nice.
I like it.
And Pocket says, you, a nice guild?
You mean there's a place like that exists in MMOs? Weird.
Well, that's why my guild that's why I make such a point to do it, because my kids played when they were little in EverQuest 2, and I kept a safe place for them, and I just kept this tradition on as they grew out because they don't play that anymore. They have moved on. They're too cool.
Aren't they all though?
So true.
Part of me was like, MMO daycare ? Safe space for the kiddos. I love it. The playground. There we go. MMO playground.
There you go.
I love that. Okay, and then what brought you to Ashes of Creation specifically?
I started with Ashes in Kickstarter because my husband wanted me to check out Chronicles of Illyria because he was all excited about it and he wanted to kickstart it and do all this stuff with it. I researched it and it did not appeal to me. So I was like, okay, I'm not just going to go back to him and say, not interested. I'll look and see if there's something else. And I actually discovered Ashes then. I saw a picture of their runic stallion, and then I read all about how you're going to be able to go out into the world and catch wild horses and other animals and tame them and breed them. And I was hooked. Ever since then, I have been a fan of Ashes. And I got him into Ashes and my friends into Ashes and my guildmates into Ashes, and we just love it. It's very exciting.
I love that, honestly.
See, that's how Ashes seems to work. It spreads like a very lovely plague. Just one person catches it, and then they just can't stop talking about it, and it just spreads to others, and it's amazing.
That it is. the game is phenomenal. So
Yeah.
how can you not love it?
Right.
True story.
Right. I agree. Did you have another question?
Oh, I'm sure I could come up with plenty, but let's see. So, Shakacon, your absolute number one most favorite thing that you cannot wait to try out yourself.
Animal husbandry. I want to breed animals in ashes. Just, and maybe even invent my own species, because that's in the loot table, right?
That'd be
Right.
cool.
Yeah. See, that's one of those systems that I think is going to be really tricky for them to nail down and get to work properly. Hopefully, it'll be really smooth after they do, like making changes, updates, adding new whatevers. But man, it just looks so in depth.
No kidding. I've never seen anything like it. And if they pull that off, oh my gosh, that's going to be the most amazing thing. And I can't wait to try. I'm looking forward to Alpha 2, so I'm hoping it's in place so I can just go and breed animals.
So my question is, if you could breed any animal, like let's say you were one of the artists, people from Napoleon Dynamite with drawing the liger, what would be your phantasmal creature that you would come up with that you would like to breed in ashes? If you could just spring an animal from your head.
Like any kind at all?
Yeah, like if you could make any combination of creature, what would it be?
Oh my gosh. That is a difficult question.
I'm over here asking the hard ones. I'm sorry.
Well, because you think, like, what would you... I love horses so much. But if you could have a horse that had scales like a dragon and had the strength of the dragon, right?
Ooh.
And the maneuverability in the air like a dragon, that would be amazing. Because then you'd have the best of both worlds.
Yeah.
Horse dragon. Fantastic.
Like
what would you call it? What would you call it?
Another hard question.
Okay, well, ponder that one, and we can go into something else or a question there.
Okay.
Does Revis says that to Shakacon that the Revis order needs lots of raptors, and I can confirm this having role played with Diz Revis. They do need lots of raptors.
Nice.
Absolutely. So, if you could have your choice of where you would house your guild, if you could choose, which biome would it be? What kind of like near the water, away from the water, and would you choose a metropolis, like a level 6 node, or would you go for something smaller, more cozy?
First, I would go for a node that I have the belief and hope, right, that it's going to become high enough so I can have a freehold, because that's my ultimate end goal, is to get a freehold. And I know how difficult that's going to be. So I have already alerted my friends and different guildmates, please help me to get a freehold.
Yeah, we put out the call for ours too.
Yeah, it's gonna have to be a consolidated group effort, right? But I like a view, so I wouldn't want to be close enough to the water that I would be open to attack by sea. But it would be nice if we could be high enough that we have a view where you can see the water, whether it's lakes or oceans, that doesn't matter. The riverlands or the mountains would be the two biomes that I like. I like a lot of nature, right? Which kind of goes with catching and taming wild animals and breeding them.
I like it. I'm going to get a little bit personal, I guess. And I'm going to ask, you mentioned, I think it's called Project Kingdom. Is that Kingdom Project?
The Kingdom Project.
Can you explain what the Kingdom Project is?
Oh, the Kingdom Project is just this collection of different guilds of people who are going to be in ashes, right? And we all got together and we made an alliance, and we're just going to help each other. So we're just going to, and it's nice. And for a guild like me, right? That's mostly crafters and children and, just kind of chilling people. It's nice because some of the people in our guild are really strong and they're going to be, have soldiers. And I'm like, okay, cool.
I love it.
I'm like, I'm going to put a tavern on my freehold and you guys get free drinks. So
there we are. With a fresh keg of apple juice in the back of the bar.
Spiced apple cider.
There you go.
Yeah,
not spiked, but spiced.
Basil had a good idea when we were talking about the biomes, by the way. Don't forget to find an area that has child locks on the dungeons.
Well, I'm not going to police the children. I just want to keep a safe place for them.
There you go.
Yeah, you just don't want them to be, lost on accident in a dungeon. All jokes aside, though, we did have Steven on before where he was talking about like being able to have children within Ashes of Creation as like a marriage system option. And then there was a whole debate about having children in an MMO. And then what do you do if a node gets sieged? And then somewhere along the line, we ended up talking about Children of the Corn, where there's just some red eyes peeking at you from like the farmlands.
Oh my gosh.
Like, hopefully we don't run into that situation.
You never know. We might come onto someone's freehold and all you see are rows and rows of corn, right?
True. You never know. Farmers, watch your crops. You never know if you're going to get raided by children.
That's right.
They're just hungry. It's okay. Just give them a portion of it. It's fine. They'll probably make you a good meal if you did that.
Yeah, exactly.
Stay out of my corn.
Just don't bring Isaac, right? And Malachi.
Exactly.